Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. With the recent development, I'm feeling excited and motivated once again because for a while now, I haven't had the motivation to drop any Blue Lock content due to the story's progress or lack thereof. Either way, I think you will all enjoy this video very much as we might be onto something with this one. I invite you to please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with anyone. Please obviously do not spoil people that only watch the anime. It's time we break the 700 subscribers count. Please guys, subscribe massively, yeah? Because we gonna get into it straight up. The latest chapters reveal one of Izagi's main limiters, the walls of his conscious thought process. If I were to ask you, what are Izagi's weaknesses? Most of you will talk about his lack of physicality, his lack of superior technical skills, the lack of variety in his shooting, the fact that he cannot dribble, and many other things, right? Yet, he's made it this far in the story. So, those weaknesses cannot be all that bad if he keeps overcoming the hurdles he has so far. In my opinion, Izagi's most significant weakness stems from the fact that he imposes constraints on himself. Let me explain. Unless something consciously makes sense for Izagi, he will freeze. Whenever Izagi encounters the unknown, he rationalizes it into something that fits his logic. He had met amazing people before, and since he lacked the core understanding of what made them extraordinary, he simply labeled them as geniuses. He did the same thing with himself. If geniuses go back to their zero because they were born with something innate, going back to their zero allows them to do what geniuses do. Then what should ordinary people do? We have already learned about the equations of miracles being tapping into flow. What about the equation of evolution? The answer is the same as for geniuses. We all go back to our zero because we are who we are first and foremost. So, who is Izagi? What are his weapons? I asked the question again from the beginning of Blue Lock, which Izagi still couldn't even answer now. Chigiri told him, I think Chigiri was the first, yeah? To tell him that he has good spatial awareness, and Izagi simply took it and continued with it. Naruhaya called him a genius of adaptability. Again, Izagi took it as an accurate description of himself and kept it going. All those perspectives are limited views of the whole picture, like low resolution pictures of the bigger picture. Izagi is much more than that, and his abilities have already been demonstrated. Izagi operates primarily on the intangibles, so his weapons are nothing physical. What Izagi has is his mind and senses. Those are his primary weapons. The issue is, saying it like that doesn't easily translate into a reproducible goal-scoring formula. Izagi kept limiting himself until he found the most comfortable labels and devised his goal-scoring formula, spatial awareness to find his free spot around the goal, and direction. I'm here to tell you that Izagi is like a car running in first gear this whole time, trying to win a race against other cars that can switch gears at will. When things look dire, don't get scared, get excited. Bachira willed himself into flow state during the game against Team V, surpassing his limits to score a remarkable goal. Bachira still used his primary weapon to do so, his dribbling. What do you think changed? Why do you think he could suddenly do something so incredible? He made a play that surpassed his limit. Kunigami did the same, and the rest is history. This is the equation of evolution. When cornered, repeating past actions is ineffective. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been cornered in the first place. You have to go a tiny bit beyond what you can currently do and be willing to fail while doing so. The equation of miracles has already been explained to us. Flow state, the mental ability to envision a goal, the skills to make it happen, and the ability to read the state of the field and its players. All of these can help make a player's performance exceed human knowledge. miracles can be explained. What does all of this mean in regard to Izagi? I have the answer we have all been waiting for. To an observer, a genius or anyone amazing looks like he has countless options. Compare that to Izagi, who consistently looks like his options are limited. For example, show me one striker in Blue Lock who stated that he needs to be completely free to score goals. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. Yes, you got that right. Izagi is the only one. It's only in the nail that thanks to his lefty shot, he can handle more intricate situations to get a shot at the goal. Before that, if Izagi didn't see a way to be free in front of the goal, he damn near froze. He believed he simply had little to no way of scoring. Talk about limiting himself, right? Let me get something out of the way first. Izagi has nailed it when figuring out what he needs as a striker. Direct shot, lefty shot, off the ball. Those weapons are helpful, and Izagi has maximized some of them effectively. His off the balls allow him to create space for himself. His direct shot allows him to not give enough time to the defense. His lefty shot gives him more options. Still, the lack of spins, the variety in his shots is a considerable limitation in my eyes. And the fact that he only ever goes for a shot if he has a clear shooting course is still a limitation he imposes on himself. I believe all of those will be lifted once Izagi finally understands what sets him apart from the rest. Izagi has two main weapons, one that many other geniuses share and one that is unique to him. The first weapon is intuition. The second is premonition. Intuition can be loosely defined as your subconscious helping you solve current issues based on past patterns, aka knowledge. It allows you to understand something immediately without needing conscious reasoning and analysis. Intuition is therefore quicker than conscious reasoning, right? The most outstanding plays you have seen so far were mostly intuition-based. Bachiro's goal against Team V, Nagy two-stage volley, Rin's blind shot, Kaiser's bicycle shot, Izagi's two-guns volley, Noel Noah's goal, Loki's stopping the Kaiser Impact Magnus, Shido's goal in the U20 game. I can go on and on. Geniuses have a high level of self-confidence that they can easily rely on their intuition when push comes to shove. In the heat of the moment, trust your brain, your past experiences, and skills you have accumulated to guide you. Intuition is not infallible though. That's why it's all about failing and learning from it. Use past experiences as fuel and trust that your intuition will guide you. Now, let's talk about the second weapon, which is quite exclusive to him, his premonition. At some moment, Izagi has a sense or vision of future events, and usually what he does afterward is either rely on his intuition or conscious reasoning to make the best out of the situation. When Izagi sensed Nico was his team's key player, his intuition and premonition were at play. Intuition because Izagi subconsciously knew, based on how the game went so far, that Nico was the key. It was, however, a premonition because he felt the corner kick situation would end badly if Nico were free. Another instance of it is in the Team Z versus Team V game. When the ball is passed to Chigiri, Izagi immediately has a premonition and moved using his conscious reasoning to help Chigiri. His goal in the U20 game was also a premonition and intuition at play. His stopping Chris Prince's shot was also a combination of both. His brilliant play with Corona that ended up in Kunigami's goal, that little moment where Izagi uses a chest trap, that was his intuition on full display. No wonder Noah thought that Izagi finally grasped it. The ticket Noah was talking about was not specifically Metavision, Noah was interested in how Izagi was moving too, and some of those moves were intuitive. Izagi's problem is that he tried to reduce both concepts to something as simplistic as metavision and attempted to consciously replicate what he had previously done intuitively. It was a recipe for disaster. It will never work. It will have never worked. So, what does that mean for the future? Izagi has gained tremendous experience by learning from everyone around him. Do you think it's a coincidence that it's only after playing against Rin that Izagi started incorporating feints into his arsenal? My point is that Izagi has always been watching. Every goal or play he has witnessed is on his mind, and his subconscious has access to a tremendously large database of goals or plays he can reproduce or draw inspiration from. The kid spent his whole childhood imitating Noel Noah. He could do it all. He started focusing on direct shots because at the time, he was trying to solve the problem of not giving the defense time to catch up to him. And he intuitively came up with direct shots. Izagi inherently aims to control the football pitch and has been trying his best to predict what will happen next so that he can be one step ahead of everyone. He's been doing it consciously most of the time, whereas as a kid, it may have just happened intuitively. Metavision is the culmination of the limit of Izagi's conscious reasoning. Beyond that is the realm of premonition and intuition. This is something that Izagi cannot use at all times though. It just happens in certain conditions. That's why in a normal state, Izagi should keep using his metavision and his egocentrism and whatever logic he learns to predict the field. He just needs to expand his options more and consider plays that don't always have a 100% success rate. Doing so expands his option tremendously, and when push comes to shove, he should just trust in his intuition to do the job. If it works, then fine. If it doesn't, then try again. This is no rocket science. Evolution is understanding that you may lose and need to be free of the shackles of trying to make everything fail-proof. You cannot evolve without failing. You cannot only consider plays where you link up with Hiyori or those friendly with you. Kaiser passed the ball to Raichi and Kunigami, right? Thus expanding his options. What about Izagi? This is what this is about. Izagi has already honed enough weapons to stand on this stage and still find a way to win. Metavision, intuition, premonition. This is his formula, the core formula from which an infinite amount of formulas can be generated. Infinite options. This is Izagi's golden formula, the ultimate ticket. You remember Izagi's first goal in Blue Lock, right? Against Nico's team? After stopping Nico, Izagi intuitively ran to the space that would be open, premonition again, in front of the goal, and hammered in a direct shot. Izagi himself failed to understand the mechanism of that goal and simply reduced it to space free in front of the goal, direct shot. A low resolution image of the bigger picture, and Izagi has been surviving with nothing but that. Izagi has been stuck on this gear this whole time. His intuition is capable of much more than that. We saw it with the two-gun volley. So imagine a version of Izagi Yoichi who has no limitations to how he should play or how he should score a goal. Imagine that version that considers every options, possible or not. Sounds like best striker in the world material to me. You can even imagine that while most of his competition has access to core formulas that allows them to have countless options, like for example Nagi's trapping is madness, Rin's shooting abilities incredible, right? Izagi has been trying to maximize one formula, one option, since the start. Isn't that insane? Izagi, without the limiters he imposed on himself, we're talking about curved direct shot, we're talking about predator eye, We're talking about headers. We're talking about everything is possible now. We will be there. So what is Isagi's winning theory? Trust in his abilities and use his senses, or meta vision, intuition, and premonition to be one step ahead and make plays that he himself wouldn't have thought of in order to win. It's not just about scoring goals, it's about everything. Defending, passing the ball, helping a teammate, telling a teammate what to do, everything. Shall Isagi fail, he will use it as a learning experience to try again and hopefully do better next time. There isn't more than that. Noel Noah, brace yourself, we are coming for your throne.